Okay, so we have saved our MDF base and we're now going to start drawing up one of the side pieces. So exactly the same process. First thing I'm going to do is save it. I don't have anything to save just yet, but I'm going to save it. So naming convention, name, year group. Part of the reason we do this is because if you imagine, and we're going to call this side, okay? Part of the reason we do this is because you imagine lots and lots of these being sent to me or Mr. Mike, for example, for processing, and they're all called my project or my work or my design. It's completely impossible to tell who needs what. So please, please, please get into that habit, good habit. Check where you're saving. Yeah, so I'm going into my John Wilson Year 10 candle shade folder and saving there. Okay, so there you go. This time, straight away, a thumbnail appears there. It's going to be a blank thumbnail because, of course, I haven't drawn anything. So I'm going to close my data panel again. Again, just maximize the space. I'm going to press R on my keyboard. And this time, I want to draw either on the front or the side plane. Okay, not the plan view. I want the front or the side plane. If I draw down here, I can always turn things around later, but it's not really helpful for what I'm trying to do now. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to take the rectangle tool again, and I'm going to pull out a rectangle. And this time, I want the width to be 9, because that's how thick our plywood is. This is our piece of plywood. And press Tab, and I want the height to be 60, because that's how high we have made that piece there. Okay, you press enter and there you go. You'll notice that it fills a sort of peach colour, and that tells you it's a completed sketch. If there's a break anywhere in here, then it won't fill and it won't be able to extrude to go from a sketch into a body. Remember, so we've just created that sketch. If I undo that for a moment, you'll see we're back to no sketch here. So I choose my R for rectangle tool, I choose that front, I click in the center of the origin there, and I'm going 9, tab, 60, press enter. Okay. Now, I'm going to zoom up because the next little bit I'm going to need sort of fairly close eyes on things. For this, we're going to draw a line. So L for line tool, and the line tool is pretty self-explanatory. You click where you want the line to go, and then you press enter or escape when you want to sort of detach things. All right. Now, I don't want those 3 lines, so I'm going to delete those using my undo key. Your undo key is your friend. Try and use it, okay, if you need to. Things go wrong, just go back to the point before they went wrong. That's the easiest way of doing it. I'm going to press L for line, and I'm going to draw a line starting, it doesn't really matter too much where, if I'm down here or up here, because we're going to do that very accurately in a second. I just want to draw a line that comes out by 4 millimeters. Okay, so it sticks into the piece of work by 4. There you go. You'll notice that it's put a dimension line on there for me. Okay, and that's also known as a constraint, which means when I do other stuff, that 4 is going to be constrained. It's going to stay the same. So I want to check the distance between here and where I've just drawn the line, so the top corner and where I've drawn the line. And the way I do that is I press D on the keyboard, D for dimension, and I can then, I could pull out a dimension line for that whole side, which is 60, but I already know it's 60 because it tells me over here. And if I put a 60 on this side, well, I just don't need to. So I'm going to escape from that. But what I can also do is I can press the D and I can go from one point to another point and pull that out. That's telling me it's 13.9. So I'm going to click once and I'm going to change that to 12 because the distance wants to be 12. And as soon as I press enter, that little 4 millimeter line is going to jump upwards a few spaces. There you go. So we now know it sticks in 4 millimeters and it's 12 down from the top, which is exactly what we want. We're then going to use the line tool, and what I'd suggest you do is zoom in at this point so you can see things nice and clearly. I want to pick up the end of that line, and you need to be a bit careful here because some of these are lines on the drawing, which is that one, and some of them are dimension lines, such as that one and this one. and this one here is a dimension line. So there's my corner, and I'm coming down just 3 millimeters, so I can type in 3 and press, you could press enter there, or you could just click to put another point in, and then we come across here and click to finish that off. At that point, we've now got a big rectangle with a smaller rectangle inside it. We're going to press the T key on the keyboard, T for trim, and we're going to trim that away. And now we've got a notch, and if you think back to your piece of wood, you had a notch that was running all the way along it. Now, at the moment, we've only got a sketch here, remember? So if I start to orbit that and look at it in another way, it's only paper thin. And so my command is going to be exactly the same as on the last one. By the way, escape, when you're using one tool and you want to stop using it, you just press your escape button and you go back to nothing selected. Now I'm going to press E for extrude, the same as we did on our piece of plywood. And I'm going to type in a length of 120. And what I've now got is a piece of what looks like actual sort of physical material. It's got 3 dimensions to it. It's got a groove running all the way along it. And you'll notice up on my browser, I've now got a body, which is body number 1, this one here. Up in this corner, we've also got the option to view from different angles. So I can click on a certain thing. I can rotate in various directions. Using this tool here, I can hold it and physically move it around, okay, as an alternative to my orbit tool, or I can click the home button and it's going to put it in like so for me in like a 3D view. Excuse me. So there's our side. Now, the only thing you'll notice is that on our side, we had an angle cut on the inside, okay? So we're just going to add that to our work. What we're going to need to do is to, first of all, select where the angle should be, which is on that edge, and hold your shift key down while you select a second edge, third edge, fourth edge, and having selected all of them, if you don't hold the shift key, then every time you select one, it's going to deselect the previous one. And then we're going to go modify and chamfer. And the chamfer is going to be 9 because it's the same as the thickness of the piece of wood. And then we click OK. And there we have something, okay, it doesn't look like a piece of wood at the moment, but it certainly looks like the shape of your side piece, okay. So there's my home button again, just click that and click save so we don't, and click OK so we don't lose that. And we've then got in our data bar here all of our, well, both of our pieces of work that we've done. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is assemble those and make them actually look like the material we've been using. Okay.